Cashmaniacs.
GeoGearHeads.
Welcome back to the GeoGearHeads. I'm Darryl W4, once again with Chris of the Northwest for our 473rd episode of the Cashmaniacs with our Randomize CV show. So if I'm not mistaken, Chris, that's 105 randomized shows.
Well, or it's a joint on the front end of your car, a CV joint.
See, and I was thinking it's our resume.
Oh, yes. Curriculum vitae.
Yeah, so we needed to actually, go through and list our accomplishments throughout the show.
Oh, well, we'll just toss that in,
It's our retrospective.
Good
Good thing I did no homework and have no idea what we've talked about any of the other shows.
Have we had any other shows, Darryl?
No. This is it. All the other shows meant nothing. This is
that's right.
The show.
Yeah, unless you're here now, the other shows didn't mean anything. So go back and listen to them and prove us wrong.
Especially those first few episodes.
Oh boy, we talked about batteries to start off with.
For the first couple episodes, yeah, it was all batteries. Lots of great information. Some of it's still relevant.
Mm-hmm.
That was a kind of funny thing, is we went in so much depth on that because at the time people were really talking about it.
Exactly, because almost all the devices we used had batteries. We weren't that much into cell phones at the time.
Well, and we were starting to make the switch to the cell phones, to the external battery packs, and people were really not understanding the differences in the technology of the batteries. Especially, the NiCad versus NIM thing was a big deal. And I think that's also about the time the LSD came out.
Oh, no, LSD came out in the 60s. Maybe before.
Isn't that when we started the show?
Yeah, you're right. Never mind. I'm not old.
This show is older than we are.
It's older than dirt.
No.
You should buy dirt. They're not making any more of it.
Yeah, this is kind of true.
Yeah, that's my real estate mantra. Buy dirt. They're not making any more.
Now I want to have a whole conversation about that whole Reddit and Robinhood thing.
That's very interesting, isn't it?
It is, but it is so off topic for this show.
Yeah. They're talking that, that's basically insider trading. So all those people should be arrested. Like, well,
no, it's not.
I don't think it is. No.
It was done in an open public forum.
Right.
And they were talking about it on one of the shows, and it doesn't even count for any kind of collusion or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
So there really is no good case that it looks like they can bring, but of course they're going to try.
GSM times 2 says buy diamonds. They're not making any more of those either. That's true, but they haven't found all the ones that have been made yet.
No, they are making diamonds now. They have the
yes. Well, zirconia. Do they actually make diamonds?
They actually make real diamonds now. And that's been a big thing the last few years. And I don't remember the whole thing. I know one of them uses lasers to superheat the carbon and make the.
Are they on sharks?
Yeah.
Okay.
But now I want to go look that up too, because that was really fascinating. Because they were actually making the diamonds for the blades and that kind of stuff. But now they've got diamonds that have perfect clarity. There's no flaws ever. And they are starting to do cool things like make shapes of diamonds. So one of the projects that Johnny Ives worked on 6-7 years ago, I think now, was a diamond ring that the entire ring was diamond.
Okay. It
It
doesn't
was
sound
one
like
of those.
anything I can afford.
No, it was one of those charitable auction things, and I think it went for like, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Wow.
But it was really cool. Hey, Houston, Texas Dave wants to know if anyone's played with the new Where I Go app, and I think we actually talked about that a little last week.
Mhm.
But I did go out and give it a shot. Did a video on it. It is surprisingly like the old app as far as the interface goes, and this is for iOS.
iOS only. Yeah.
Yeah, unless an Android app came out that I missed, which might be possible. But as much as I assume that this was not going to be a revamp of the existing code, it does look more like that. And then GSM times 2 said, I did a Where I Go with someone who used the new app. It worked for her. On Android, both of my apps crashed.
Oops. Do you happen to use GeoGo? I'm curious because they have a Where I Go player built in, and it's supposed to work quite well.
Yeah, it's supposed to be one of the better ones from what I've been hearing lately.
But I'm trying to think, is it Where You Go on the Android?
There's Where You Go and Where
I've been? Oh.
Shoot, I can't remember the other one now. But one of them actually works pretty well. The other one on most of the devices I've tried just doesn't work at all.
Mhm.
But
I have not used it, but the last was it just last week with MC3 Cats we talked about Where I Go?
That was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Seems that way. I'm sorry, I was just with him yesterday. So, but I thought of a new Where I Go based on what we talked about there, and I'm like, oh, I've got to do this. This would be so much fun.
So GSM times 2 said yes, it was GeoGo and Where You Go both that were crashing. It was a more complicated Where I Go.
So I wonder if if it was built with Irigo or some, player or some builder that just didn't compile it right for those apps.
Or if those apps just don't interpret the code as well as they should.
Mm-hmm.
And this was an early problem with the official app too, was that even though you compile it for that class of device,
Mm-hmm.
it would still crash on some, not on others.
And on the Oregons, I experienced that.
Right. And the Colorados were crashier than the Oregons were, but that didn't always mean that
Is crashier an active verb that we're using now?
It is.
Okay.
It's in honor of Windows 20H2.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Which has forced us to replace
H2. Oh,
it's forced us to replace many of our laptops because it just absolutely bricked Windows.
yikes.
Yeah. Now, granted, at least 2 of those,
Mhm.
the users admitted to accidentally powering off the computer in the process.
Ay, ay, ay.
But GSM times 2 says that for Where I Go, crashier is appropriate.
I've told the story before of the Where I Go. I did on my Oregon at the Alamo, and you're walking around the original exterior of the Alamo. The what you see now is just the church. The walls were much farther out. And I went and did, I don't know, 2 or 3 stops, and it crashed. I'm like, oh man, I got to start over. So I did, 2 stops, it crashed again. Okay, fine. After every stop, I'm going to save this. So, I mean, that is not quick, right? I mean, you have to save it, then you have to go and reload it back up again. Okay, here I am.
Well, and that was the whole thing. You had the way that we were doing Where I Goes on those devices was, okay, I finished the save or the stage, save, exit, okay, go back in, reload it. Because otherwise it seemed to die.
I don't know if it was a memory leak or what, but yeah, it I did a lot of walking that day because, the points in the wall were quite some distance. I want to say it was over 100 degrees too.
And I'll bet you didn't
Well,
have a, Fitbit.
I think I did have a Fitbit at that time.
Okay, because I was gonna say, I think that was, like, right about the time of the original Fitbit,
Mm.
which I still remember, and that was my favorite of the Fitbit devices.
Mhm.
Even though I went through, like, 6 of them all under warranty because they kept coming apart. They were not built very well.
I remember the Fitbit in the day, and now, I get the same basic information off my phone if I remember to have it on me when I'm doing my walking.
Yeah, and now Fitbit is part of Google.
That's right.
Mhm.
So, does that mean the Fitbit watches now become Android watches?
No, I don't know what's gonna happen, but they are pretty much gonna keep it, independent.
Hmm.
They've promised to have better interoperability, which is the big reason that I left Fitbit, is they refuse to play nice with, HealthKit, and I
Mhm.
forget what the Android is. It called Android Health,
Well, isn't
or is
it
it
going to
Google
be
Health?
worse now on iOS devices with Fitbit being Android or being Google?
No, anyone who wants to, interface with, HealthKit can do so. It's an open API that you can, or I
But will
should
they
say,
want to?
no, they definitely want to.
Okay.
Even the Android Wear watches, interface with HealthKit. But the whole thing was after.
Do those, like, get all hairy after midnight or something, the Wear watches?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Um,
Arr.
but they had some, misdealings with both, Samsung and Apple
Mhm.
at, Fitbit, and decided, "We're not gonna play nice with anyone, we're gonna keep our walled garden." And at that point, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm jumping ship." And I
Good
think
luck.
that was, kind of what ultimately gave them the problems that they're running into now.
Mhm.
You can't compete with platform level integrations like that.
Right, right. Well, their high-end watches were really quite nice,
Well, and especially
and
after they bought
still are,
Pebble,
right? Mhm.
but they bought the Pebble guys to improve their, watches, and their watches went from meh to pretty decent devices. I still liked the original Pebble better,
Mhm.
but it didn't do as much as the, Fitbit watches do. So, you know, I didn't like so much the, color in the Pebble 2, I think it was. They were nowhere near as, uh, quality a product as the original was. Despite having more features, it just didn't work as well. But regardless, they killed that product off. Yeah, and it turns out that they did it for some rather good reasons, because it wasn't, engineered as well as it should have been for your security and whatnot.
Mhm.
And keeping it running would have been a lot more involved than it should have been. So there are people who have kept enough of it running through, some servers that you can, I think, pay for. I don't know if they're free, and done enough of the, security stuff on that end to make it work right
Now, here's a question I just came up with, and trying to get us back on track a little bit since we've, talked about the past.
for 14
Does
minutes.
yeah, exactly. We're, almost 15 minutes into the show here, and we yet well, it's randomized, so we have hit topics.
Well, and
Uh,
we've talked about, where I go.
does the Where I Go app on iOS work with a watch? Is there a watch portion of the app?
No,
Bummer.
no. Well, how would you?
I don't know. Showing the direction you need to go, distance, compass like.
G9 says that, at least the Fitbit goes longer than a day on the battery,
Yes.
which is very true.
Mhm.
There's a couple more that are doing that now too, though.
And Genies, are you talking about the watch or the original Fitbit?
Both.
I didn't I didn't like the specialized charger for the Fitbit.
Yeah, I think they went
I
to
think they eventually worked around that, but
well, no, it's still the proprietary chargers on the
is it? Okay.
Fitbits and the bands and stuff. But I think with their latest watches, they went to what's it
He is
called?
referring to the watch.
Yeah,
Good.
the Qi charger.
Oh, did they? Okay.
I think so.
There you go. If you're watching tonight, you can have the GeoGearHeads trackable to be discovered. It's up to you if you want to say it, Darryl. So the
No, no,
audio.
I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
That's not the one that I've got to discover either. So
Oh.
we're going to leave that one for Houston, Texas, Dave.
Oh, I got it. That's his own.
Right.
Now I'm tracking.
Yes.
But not that trackable. Sorry.
Wow. Okay. Let's actually move on to one of the news items that came out of geocaching.com, which are the 2021 souvenirs for this year. And they, of course, skipped the first of 2021 since that's already passed and gave us 7 date-based souvenirs that we can look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
So the Cash In, Trash Out Season 1 is going to be available March 1st through May 31st. And hopefully by that point, by the 31st of May, you will be able to do events in your area, CETO events, and actually earn that one.
The next one coming up is Blue Switch Day. That's April 30th through May 2nd. So you've got a couple of days there, which is nice. Who knows what, is going to go on in the future. Darryl, if I may interject for a moment, I listened to a podcast yesterday that was from the end of March of last year. And they said, hey, we're 3 weeks into this pandemic. Hopefully we're halfway through. And I just kind of laughed at them. Like, oh, you have no idea. Anyway,
we knew that wasn't going to work.
We have no idea what April and May look like, but you've got April 30th through May 2nd to get a geocache find to find the big Blue Switch Day.
Yeah, and I always look forward to marking that one just because it is that anniversary of...
Yeah, exactly. It's the anniversary.
Yeah, the actual anniversary of selective availability and shortly thereafter of geocaching.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that one. International Geocaching Day, though, is August 21st, and that is going to be a single day again this year. One day. This year, I think they did 2 days, though.
I thought they did. I like International Geocaching Weekend.
Yeah. And that is kind of the problem that I have with the single day events, especially when they fall on like the weekends or on a holiday. It does pose a problem for some people because I do know some very religious people who can't go caching on a Saturday or on a Sunday because, it doesn't mesh with their beliefs. So
or,
now,
if it's a parent or a child's birthday, a spouse's birthday, a family member's birthday, and you know what? It's only a souvenir. Yes, I know for some people it's incredibly important, but it's just a digital souvenir.
Yeah, this doesn't count for that much. It's not generally worth going out for it. I would not say the same thing if these were caches, the cache types that you could only get on these days.
Gotcha.
That would be a totally different story.
Mm-hmm. Well, the next set of dates we have is Cash In, Trash Out Season 2. That's September 1st through November 30th. So there you go. The seasons, I think, are kind of interesting.
Well, and now, I like that whole concept. Get more people out there, gives us more time. And one of the problems that we've had in the previous year when they did just the one or weekend for the birthday weekend, or they extended it to a little bit more than a week. When they did that, we ran into a lot of problems where the land managers didn't want to do stuff on that weekend because they already had other groups doing it.
Right.
Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, church groups all wanted to get out and do a cleanup that day. That weekend, whatever.
On Earth Day. Oh, wait. No, that's a different one. Oops. I let the cat out of the bag.
Well, no, not Earth Cash Day, but Earth Day,
Right.
which is the one in April. That's the International Earth Cash Day that, or Earth Day, that for a lot of years we were doing those turn off all your lights for an hour things that no one ever actually did. But it was kind of fun to watch from the satellite because enough people did it that it was apparent from the satellite images. And then International Earth Cash Day, which I keep wanting to say instead of Earth Day, is going to be October 9th and 10th. So again, you have 2 days to actually get that one, which means I still won't be able to because I don't have any Earth caches near me.
Which means Land Monkey won.
Land Monkey always wins.
Well, October 9th, I want to say it's the first weekend in October is Canadian Thanksgiving. Or, yeah, I don't know if it's the 9th or 10th.
I thought it was later than that, but you might be right.
Yeah, no, that's typically what falls on International Earth Cache Day. So he's like, can we get it extended 2 days? Because, again, it's hard to leave a family event to say, hey, I've got to go get an Earth cache. And, Land Monkey will do it, but not every other Canadian will. And finally, we have Farewell 2021. We hardly knew you 2021, but you're already leaving us at least in December 31st of this year.
And I'm sure we're going to have the first of 2020, or 2022 rather. But the thing that I noticed is they're announcing at this point that it is just the 31st.
That's true, right? We had a week this year.
Right. They extended it due to the pandemic.
Right. Just because, it's not easy to get out.
No. Well, and in a lot of cases, people aren't going to want to go out on New Year's Eve. And that is kind of one of the issues that I have with doing the last first is if I'm actually going to do that the way that I'd like to do it, I don't want to be out on the roads. Because I'd love to be able to do that, go find a cache at like 10 minutes before midnight and then go to another cache and sign it just after midnight.
See, I'm thinking for all the people drinking, you're fine then because they're still at their parties drinking.
Yeah, but the problem that I've had when I'm out there is you still have enough of the crazies. It's the people who are trying to get somewhere or whatever. You don't have the drunks out yet, but it's the crazies. So anyway, that is our list that we know of for the souvenirs for the rest of the year. And GSM times 2 says, only a souvenir? What are we talking about?
Yeah, sorry, GSM times 2. I knew there were people who love their souvenirs.
Well, and I do love to get my souvenirs.
Yeah. He says, I'm surprised they didn't do one for the Mars landing date, which, by the way, thanks, Houston, Texas, Dave, is February 18th. Now, my thinking is the date could slide, couldn't it? I mean, it's traveling so far. I'm sure everything's going to go on plan and on time and on target. But if something goes wrong, they may need to move that a bit. So
I don't know. I think unless something goes wrong, then I don't believe they have much latitude with that.
Okay.
I think that it's that precise a flight plan. But part of the reason why there is no souvenir for that one is because it is the trackable itself. So there's the tracking code on the body of the rover that when they power it up, the camera is going to be facing it and we can all get to discover what right now we know only as TB5EFXK. You want to give that a shot?
You know that?
Well, no, that's the TB number, not the tracking number.
Okay.
So the TB numbers you can safely give out. People can look them up by that. It's like the GC code, but you can't log it without the tracking code. So that's one of the things that always throws people for a loop. And if I don't look at these for long enough, I can tend to forget that as well.
Yes, you're exactly right.
So yeah, the TB5EFXK is the page that they've publicly shown and said, yes, this will be trackable as soon as you get as soon as the rover lands, and you'll be able to see it. But there is a web page at NASA that has the current status of the mission, what the mission is, all that kind of stuff. So we'll link to that as well. But that's the Perseverance rover.
Just in case you were curious, here's the web page for it.
Yeah, for the actual
TV.
rover travel bug, yeah. And then the Perseverance rover website is much more intense, but it does have the landing date. And
it does have the landing date, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, if you go to the Perseverance page, it actually has the landing date.
The trackable code is especially printed on a 1-inch unique glass disc. It's part of the rover's calibration target. How can I log this trackable if I'm not going to Mars? I didn't plan on going to Mars, but if you're going, you're going to win the social distancing challenge, let me tell you.
See, now we know why it is that man colonizes Mars in the future.
Oh, yeah.
It's to get away from the COVID. Sorry.
And before you know it, we'll have Arnold Schwarzenegger up there.
It is not a tumor. The wrong show. The wrong movie. But there was another trackable brought to our attention last week, I think it was, called Among the Stars. This one is TB9VCYP. So if you want to look that up, it's TB9VCYP. And this one we don't know anything about. It's a little bit puzzling. So it's called Among the Stars, owned by GCHQ. And it says the current goal to inspire future generations to explore the boundless possibilities of space.
So it says, welcome. If you found this trackable, that means you're an intrepid explorer, a seeker of knowledge, or a solver of mysteries on this world and beyond. For that, we congratulate you. If you're still in need of answers, search the stars for guidance. So,
and it was logged once on December 14th
by Oceans Azul, another lackey.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is very interesting. It's possible it's for some promotion that's coming up, and they may do a stars, a space themed promotion for the rover. I don't know.
It would kind of make sense, but typically we've gotten some kind of teaser by now, if that were going to be the case. So maybe I don't think it's going to coincide.
Maybe they want to assure the rover is going to land in one piece. You have this whole promotion and oops, the lander broke.
Yeah. Well, and I'm wondering if they've gotten into some other kind of virtual exhibit or something. And maybe there's this virtual exhibit that they're part of, and you have to do this lesson, and in Among the Stars, they'll have the code. Yeah, and GSM Times 2 says they did tease something about an unannounced souvenir coming up. Which I'm not sure we want to read that much into this one, because they always have promotions.
And they've used a souvenir travel bug code in the past.
Yep.
Right.
And
Mary Hyde
sometimes lead up to a souvenir. So it couldn't entirely be that there is a souvenir coming for the rover, the Perseverance rover, that they haven't mentioned yet. And in that, you get another trackable code. I don't think they're going to do that, but it could be something that simple.
Or if you're willing to go to Mars, you can pick up your own tracking code.
They're just laying around on Mars?
Yeah.
So that's how they get the codes? They send up the rovers to collect the codes and beam them back?
Yeah.
Oh.
The Martians are creating the codes for us.
Oh,
Yeah.
Interesting.
And you have to send a rover up to,
No wonder
get
they're
those
so
numbers.
expensive.
Exactly. You think it's easy to come up with those codes? No, 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 no.
I thought they just had a computer generating them.
No. That's why
Wow.
Spirit and Opportunity, or one of them. Is it Spirit that's been running for so long?
Yeah, I believe so, because I think Opportunity died right on schedule or within a few weeks or whatever of schedule. I know there's a lot of people on that who listen to the show
Mhm.
after the fact that will be able to tell us, but I just don't remember.
I wanna say both of them exceeded their normal mission parameters, but Spirit by years has exceeded its mission lifetime, so
Yeah.
very cool. I think it's very cool.
I'm curious. I'm excited, and I figure we've all got it totally wrong, and we'll be shocked at
Mhm.
what it actually is, and probably not something that we're going to be that excited about when it actually hits.
Maybe. Does this mean we have to do a CETO on Mars now that we have so much equipment up there that's no longer functional?
Yeah, and we have to go collect all the um,
Moon
trackables
debris?
that fell out.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay. The
GSM
trackable.
times two says that Uncle Martin is on the payroll.
I'm not getting that reference. Martian? Martin?
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
way I took it.
Marvin the Martian.
Ooh. I could get into that. I used to love Marvin. He was one of my
But
favorites.
what about the P-38? Oh, what was it?
It's the XQ9 space modulator, I believe.
Yes. The XQ-9 space modulator.
That is so Woody Woodpecker.
Where was the boom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
See, and that's why I loved it. That and Peaky in the Brain. Those were my college entertainments. Yeah, when I wasn't figuring out Monty Python.
Yeah. Mm.
Because
I never got
until
into Pinky in the Brain.
Pinky and the Brain, I absolutely loved, but not when they had their own show. When they were still the short in the Animaniacs.
Okay.
By the time they got their own show, they weren't as good. They were good in little bite-sized pieces,
Okay.
not in half-hour shows.
And cooked and dipped in cheese?
Kind of like Mr. Peabody.
Yeah.
Mr. Peabody was awesome as a blip inside of another show.
Mhm.
When it turned into a full show, all right. Uh, oh,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah. GSM times two says we're too young. It's my favorite Martian, which I watched the movie from the 80s, I think it was, or 90s, which absolutely blew my mind when I watched it, like, you know, during the first phase of lockdown when we were looking for stuff to watch. Yeah, that was one of those RMG.
And now you've watched everything. I've watched
No,
everything on Netflix.
no, I've turned off almost everything on Netflix. I'm still
Oh,
looking for good stuff to watch.
and how many streaming services do you have now, Darryl? How many did you have at the start of lockdown, and how many do you have now?
Well, I had 4. Now I have 3.
Oh, you've gone down. Okay.
Yes, because I had the free trial of Apple Plus
Mhm.
or Apple TV, whatever they call their
Apple
streaming
TV Plus.
service.
Yeah.
I didn't get into anything on that service.
They extended that by a couple of months.
Yeah, and I canceled mine before they extended it, like a day or 2 before they extended it, because I'm like, I don't want to get billed for this because I certainly don't watch it.
Nope, I don't either. I've tried a couple of things. Yeah.
I got um what was the name of that show with what's her name from Friends?
Oh, the news thing. Yeah. I
Yeah.
I tried watching that.
I tried because I loved Newsroom.
Mhm.
I also love Sports Night. It is nothing like either one of those. It is, yeah. So, in any case, I gave up on it. So I still have Disney Plus, on which
Mhm.
I watch very little actually now. It's generally only the Marvel and Star Wars stuff, and I'm definitely looking forward to the new Star Wars stuff coming. But um, Prime probably has the most stuff that I actually watch, but I'm anxiously awaiting the return of some of my series that are
Mhm.
due back. But yeah, most of them I don't think they've even announced when they're coming back now. They've all been delayed,
Right.
and then Netflix every so often has something. But again, the stuff that I actually watched and liked tends to get delayed.
Yes, isn't that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only watched a couple of things on um Apple TV Plus, and I'm on their site and I still can't find those shows I watch. So
For All Mankind is the one that everyone's talking about lately.
yeah, I
Grey Wolf was a movie that everyone was talking about.
yes. Well, no, not
Not Grey
what was
Wolf.
the
Was it Grey Wolf? I can't. The Tom Hanks one.
the Tom Hanks one,
Yeah.
Greyhound.
Greyhound.
I watched that. That was actually quite good.
That one I kind of wanted to watch, but I just every time I went to look at it, it's like I'm not up for this right now.
Oh, it was worth it. It
I'm
was a
sure it was, and I still want to watch it, but it was one of those I'm just not up for watching that kind of movie tonight.
okay.
Yeah, and that's been the thing is that my viewership has changed too.
Mhm.
I want stuff that's a
Prime
lot lighter.
mhm. Prime is my go-to.
Same,
Prime has some excellent series on it.
same. Cobra Kai got me back into Netflix for a while, and I was
I've
watching a
I've
lot
got
of
to start
Netflix.
that one. I've heard good things about
Cobra
that.
Kai is amazing. And there's certainly some issues with the story and everything, but they keep to the, we'll say, canon of the
Mhm.
original 3 or 4 movies, whatever it was, better than you could possibly imagine. And they do try to keep in line with their characters. And this is awesome in that it is fan fiction
Okay.
done by professionals. These are guys who really love the characters in the show and really got deep into the whole um Daniel was the bully,
Right.
not the hero.
Right. That's what I hear, so I gotta get into that. Now
I really enjoy it because it's not one of those everyone is either good or bad. It really is. Everyone is in that gray area. It's different things, and I
Mhm.
really got into what was happening with Kreese, John Kreese, the evil sensei from the first one.
Mm,
That they started getting into a little bit of his backstory and why he is so evil,
okay.
but they
Interesting.
didn't give you enough to really understand it. And then they ended the series. Best cliffhanger ever.
Hmm.
I don't mean best as in, I love the cliffhanger, just it it is what the heck is going to happen. You're literally going at the end of season 3. I have no idea where they're going to go because they have so many different places that this could happen, and now it's a free for all kind of thing. You just don't know what's going to happen. So they did really well with that. But the
One
other show
that
that we both have been talking
mhm,
about, The Expanse on
mhm.
um, Prime now, is back. They're doing that one episode a week that annoys me. And they've gotten really good with their cliffhangers too. Every episode has the cliffhanger at the end that has you coming back.
I have to say, I find their space flight theories plausible, right?
Have
It's
you
not as
watched the
clean
current
as
season?
Star Trek. Hmm?
Have you watched the current season?
No.
Okay. After you've gotten into this current season,
Oh, maybe
try
I'll
to
think
say that with a
differently.
straight face again.
Okay. Bummer.
They're doing some dumb. crap this time.
Oh, okay. Bummer.
This season, you have to leave reality outside. There is no reality coming into the show now. Which is sad, because I think they did, especially in the first few seasons, really well with that. Season 3 and 4, if not so much. And anytime they had something that wasn't, of course, they blamed it on protomolecule.
Yes, protomolecule.
Yes. So
the catch-all. One series that
so far off.
I know. One series that Wits End got me into, I have to mention, is Kim's Convenience on Netflix.
You know, I keep hearing about that one.
It's a Korean family that owns a convenience store in Toronto. I thought I posted the link there in the chat. There you go. It's something my entire family loves. We absolutely we're into season 4, so we're trying to limit ourselves because at the end of the season it's done.
Right.
Season 5 has just come out, but
well, and one of the things with the Netflix series, they tend to be 3 seasons and done. There are some that go longer.
This is CBC.
Don't last that. Yeah, there are some that don't last that long. But this is what kind of worries me with a lot of the Netflix shows. They've had a formula. This is what works for us. It's 3 seasons and you're done. So when you get something that's really good, you always kind of worry that it's going to come to an end prematurely.
Right.
You know, they'll write it off, but they could have so much more to do. And Lost in Space is kind of one of those for me. They only have the 2 seasons. I don't know if they're actually coming back with season 3 or not, because I think that's one of those ones that got hit by COVID, and some of those got canceled because they just can't pull it off anymore. So I don't know if that's a casualty or not. I'm still hoping for season 3, but I don't know what to say about that one, because I really never loved that series. But it was one that got me hooked, and I kept watching and watching, and then I had to go back and rewatch it. You know what? I missed stuff. Let me go back and watch, because I want to catch all of those details. And season 2 got into a totally different aspect, and it just really kind of threw me all over the place, and I kind of like that.
It's interesting. Yes.
GSM times 2 says, how do they even know what the audience is when people don't watch the first seasons and then binge after 5 seasons? Because people don't tend to do that with the Netflix originals or with the Amazon originals. Typically, they'll get the first season that gets an audience, but it's not until the second season that they get their audience. Third season, it maxes out. So if they don't get the numbers off the second season, then they start looking at canceling 3.
Well, The Mandalorian, I think, is one that's quite interesting in that aspect.
Well, and The Mandalorian launched a whole new universe. And what was interesting?
No, it expanded an existing universe.
No, well, if you pay attention, apparently, to what came out from Disney Plus, they're basically moving the whole universe into the Mandalorian, and they're trying to now distance the last 3 movies that they created.
Yes. Well, there's good reason for that.
Yeah, especially the last one. No one was happy with. It was like, what just happened? And it was an interesting movie to watch. I enjoyed watching it, but it's say what?
I haven't gone back to watch it again.
No, I haven't either, and I don't want.
And I think I need to.
But I don't want to, because it was still like said they what? But apparently what's happened is Jon Favreau and his team have created the new universe. The whole other universe that was created for that set of movies, they're killing off, and now this is the new universe. So all of the 6 or 7 shows, whatever it is, that were announced at the
Mhm.
stockholder
Mhm.
thing are the new universe, and they're going back and forward in time, all based around the Mandalorian and the values that they set up in that show.
Oh, interesting. So
So it's a whole new production. It goes back to the more cowboys
mm,
ish thing in different settings,
kind
and
of Firefly-like.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, not as deep and kind of dark, I guess, as Firefly, but it is definitely more involved, more about the character building, and that's the other thing. They're getting away from the movies. They want to do series and miniseries,
Mhm. Which gives them, like a 4 or 5-hour movie,
and it's
right?
now back to storytelling.
Mhm.
Not that the originals were great storytelling, but compared to movies of their time, it was doing a lot in a very little amount of time with some amazing effects.
Mhm.
And that's, I think, in large part why people are drawn to those original 3 movies, and why they're getting into things like Mandalorian. Though
Mhm.
I have to wonder if Mandalorian would have been anywhere near the success that it was without Baby Yoda.
I'm sorry, who?
Grogu.
Do you mean Grogu?
See, I wasn't gonna spoil it for people who hadn't watched it.
I'm telling you that, they and, you get the impression, okay, Grogu's done, but he's not. I mean, they can't lose that. That's a huge cash cow right there for the toys.
Oh, well, yeah, that's coming back
Mhm.
for sure. But I I don't know what's happening with Mandalorian. I kind of got the impression Mandalorian continues, but it's now a different set of stories. But
Well,
Grogu is not going to be part of Mandalorian. He's going to be part of
he'll still
another
be
series.
in the series. They've confirmed that.
Yeah.
But it's pushing with the Mandalorian now that he's, picked up the special implement there at the end, just in case anybody hasn't seen it. I won't spoil it.
Right. And I thought that he was
Sorry about Grogu.
I thought Grogu was going to be part of one of the animated series.
Okay, so I flipped on and I saw, what is it, Forces of Destiny? They're like little 4-minute cartoons.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I
I
watched
haven't
one and I
watched
was
those
like,
yet.
"What did I just see?"
Well,
I
and
watched
there's
the
the
first one and I was
Pixar
like,
Sparks, which are more shorts. And this is one of the interesting things. They're actually leaning into the short form comment or common content that um, Quibi was trying to kind of do and failed at miserably because, you know, among other things, it was COVID that shut them down because it was built for an on the go audience. And right when they launched, everyone's locked up. So didn't work. In any case, the short form content is making its comeback so that you have those little quick things that you can grab and view while you're in between episodes of something else. So I'll be interested to see if that actually sticks, because right
Mhm.
now they're the only ones that I know of doing that. And who else but Disney is as well positioned to do that? They've been doing the shorts for you know, generations, as ways, not just the original like Mickey Mouse, Oscar the
Exactly.
Lucky Rabbit, all going back to Alice in Wonderland. They've been doing them for education and for practice. And Pixar originally started the animation studios doing those shorts as technology demos and tests of the products and so it's in their DNA to do these shorts, and I really feel that like Pixar and Disney shorts are best without dialogue.
Yes. Yes. They can tell a story without words.
one of my best examples of that is Paperman. Did you ever watch that one?
No, but pretty much the entire movie of
Wally?
thank you, Wally. Yes.
Yeah.
Or at least all the scenes with Wally.
Yeah, that one I don't consider a very good one, actually. I don't get me wrong, I love that one. I watched it multiple times.
Mhm.
Wally and Eve are awesome. Two of my favorite Pixar characters. But Paperman was so amazing because it's a total departure of the animation style. It's human characters who never talk, and it is a
Hmm.
global. It's a love story, but it's a global theme. There's no words needed. You know exactly what's happening from the emotions, and it's just a beautiful little piece. So, one of my favorites from the animation team over at Disney or Pixar. I can't remember. They're the same company at that point, anyways. But just an astounding, wow, what did I just see? I have to watch that 2 or 3
Mhm.
times. By this point, it's not anything to really talk about because it's not nearly as spectacular. But I still love that one, and I go back and watch it, a couple times a year, probably.
Darryl,
Yes,
we're already 50 minutes in.
I know. I was gonna say we have to at least hit this one last bit of news.
We need you to
hold on.
tell you to stop watching your subscription services and get outside.
Yes, absolutely. Because we have a locationless cache that you can do solo.
Ooh.
And what was that? Hashtag Solocito, I think is what they were touting.
I love it.
Yeah. So it's like, I've got to go and tweet that one just because I love that Solocito hashtag. Or as they would say in, Johnny would say in Cobra Kai, hash brown. Give it one of those hash browns.
Did I just hashtag? Am I hashtagging right now?
No, you're hash browning.
Oh.
So this is GC8 Neat.
Neat.
And you'll notice that the new locationless caches are GC8.
Yes.
So reading right from the post on this one, we know the pandemic has canceled or postponed some fun stuff. Many of us are missing cash in, trash out, CETO activities, as well as mega events where we looked forward to logging Find Signal the Frog locationless cache in 2020, which is also GC8 FR0G.
Oh, come on. We say frog.
No, it's not. It's a 0 or Z. No, not a Z.
No.
What's the other? What's the other
Zero.
term for 0?
No.
Not.
Not.
While we hope to enjoy each of these cache types later in the year, GC8 and EAT offers some of what you're missing without the wait. This locationless cache is available to log from February 6, 2021 through December 31st, 2021. Here are the logging requirements. Number 1, include one photo of yourself or a personal item with the results of your outdoor improvement effort. 2, tell us where your improvement effort took place. For example, the city of Berlin or Mars.
On Mars. I picked up a trackable code on Mars. I've done a CETO.
So that's it. Well, but you have to take the picture.
Oh. The lack of atmosphere makes taking pictures difficult.
You just do the Hassi. Grab your Hasselblad 500 ELM, and you'll be all fine.
You consider that a
film
selfie at that
process is going to be a problem. What's that?
Okay. You consider that a selfie at that point?
Sure. They did the selfies from the moon, or from the set that was the moon.
Wow.
Sorry.
Not when I'm drinking water. You can't throw out conspiracy theories and then move on.
Well, this is this is the 2020 post-election season. I thought that conspiracy theories were what we're supposed to do now.
Mm.
It's just
No,
anytime, every day, all the time.
I think it's executive orders now.
All right, so that's gonna do it for this episode because we're so far off topic and getting silly anyway.
And we don't know how to get back now. We're
No,
lost.
no, we're lost, and quite frankly, I'm probably too tired to get back on topic anyway.
Well, Darryl, it's been great talking to you. Thank you for your picks on some things to watch. I'm gonna go check those out.
Yeah, I've got to definitely check out Kim's Convenience. Yeah,
I don't be disappointed.
I'm sure not. I tried to get into Corner Gas or gas, whatever that one is.
Corner
That,
Gas, yep.
Like everyone I know, Canadian, says you have to watch it. I can't get into it. Not that it's bad, just I can't get into it.
It
is.
Not
It's intriguing, but yeah, just can't do it.
Folks, thank you so much. Check the Cachamaniacs website at cachamaniacs.com for more on the GeoGearHeads, including show notes for this and all of our episodes. We love hearing from our listeners and maybe what they're watching. So leave us feedback by emailing GeoGearHeads at cachamaniacs.com or through the many channels of social media. Your support helps keep the Cachamaniac shows coming. Please consider becoming a patron through the link on our website to support the Cachamaniac shows. GeoGearHeads is produced by Chris Umfenauer and Darryl Wattenberg. The show's copyright 2021 by Darryl Wattenberg. All rights reserved.